for some content.
Alright.
Here we go.
We're now live.
We are now live.
We're alone.
We are alone.
Yes. There's no one there.
Not yet.
No, but there will be.
Yes, there will.
Somebody is probably sitting at home, bored off their ass with nothing better to do, and they're going to fucking tune in.
They're going to be like, wait a second, something's about to happen.
Yeah,
but we don't understand what.
These two are going to talk about some shit, and some shit's going to start because of these two. I mean, we've only been blamed for a bunch of shit, so, you know, why not, right?
Well, why not get blamed for shit when the shit's the truth?
Well,
right?
come on, supposedly we make shit all about us.
I mean, I like dumpster fires.
Yes.
They keep me warm at night.
They do.
Yes, they do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the one and only Raj and Rich show, the R&R.
Yes.
And we are here live again. Usually, you guys are used to us being here on Sundays, but we just had Banner Wars, so...
And I'm a lazy fuck.
So we couldn't get it together, and then we didn't do last night because you fell asleep.
I fell asleep, and then I had to count ballots for the CK Monarchy.
Well, that's all right, because I ended up counting balances for ballots for the Murky Waters one.
Balances,
you know, which that's a whole that was a whole dumpster fire. That was a raging inferno for like 3 fucking days.
Well,
you know.
Well, I can understand why, and this is actually going to be our first topic, which is actually how broken the Kapora is in the CK.
Well, it is bad. It's bad. It really is. It's got some holes in it. And for those of you watching, you have no idea what the hell we're talking about. Evidently, you lived under a rock for those 3 days. And so, you know, we were like, we had a situation where we had somebody at the park that, you know, their whole family just did not, you know, they wanted to take full control of the park. And they were running for office, and what their plan was is to flood enough people in to be able to control the vote. And so instead of us letting that happen, the Kingdom Prime Minister
found a loophole.
The CK Kapora says, as long as you're an active contributing member, you can partake in all things kingdom and provinces. It does not limit what provinces as long as it's in the CK.
Correct.
Okay, so that means that by definition, as long as you are an active contributing member, you can vote wherever the hell you want to vote, as long as it's in a CK.
Now, granted, there are so many things wrong with that statement right there.
And the officers' chat, the first officers' chat we had concerning this in Murky Waters, we talked for hours. And there was some temper tantrums that happened in this. But I'm the one who said, I was the first voice of reason and all that. I said, look, this is not right. I can't say you can't do it, but it's not right.
I will say this. I was asked if I was going to vote in the Murky Waters election because of that loophole. And I gave an analogy which I think rang completely true in this instance. And the analogy was, what if this was the U.S. presidential election and we allowed citizens of Russia and China to vote? How pissed off would people be?
Well, using the same analogy, technically the Chinese, not the Russians. The Russians don't have a real big vested financial interest in the operations of the country. But the Chinese do.
Yeah, the Chinese
because the Chinese own over half of our debt. So the Chinese could legitimately say they have a vested interest who runs the country because we owe them a shit ton of money. So they could make they could make the argument, motherfuckers, we've got over 11.5 trillion of your debt, which is more than half. We should get a say too.
Yeah.
You know, and which that would be a legitimate argument. Now, I wouldn't agree with it, but I mean, at least it would be a legitimate argument.
Hey, Bacon, what's up, fucker?
So, I mean, yeah, I get it. Like I said, I was the first person in the officers' chat to turn around and say, look, it's wrong, but the Kapora doesn't prevent it.
On so many levels.
You know, and then they started arguing tradition. And I'm like, and I brought up this analogy. I said, okay, fine. Traditionally speaking, because the Bible says so, you're not supposed to kill somebody. So say you have a society who never passes a law that says it's wrong to kill somebody. Traditionally, they just never killed anybody because they all thought it was wrong. And one day they kill somebody.
Now what?
And now they want to throw them in jail for killing somebody because it's wrong. But there's no law that says you can't. That person doesn't go to jail.
No.
Okay, so, and I was like, this is the same thing. Yeah, traditionally speaking, we've all used the sense of, well, you only get to vote in your park, and that's it. You can vote for Kingdom wherever you are, but you only get to vote in your park. And I get that, and I said that's but traditionally speaking, there's no rule for tradition.
There isn't.
So we can't not let, if people want to vote that are dues paid, active contributing members in this kingdom, they get to vote.
Just like how the saying goes, unwritten rules don't trump written rules.
No. So, and like I said, I understood that it was wrong. I even said in our chat, I said, look, I disagree with this being able to be used. However, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And all the bullshit that went after it. I mean, you had people posting on the CK page. You had people posting in the Murky Waters page. I thought we were going to have people show up at Murky Waters and just do a revolt. As bad as it got, it was getting horrible. But after it was all said and done last night, we all met online and we said, okay, this is now getting out of hand. Because Distin was the one who called it as it was. Everybody else was throwing bullshit back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Well, Distin called it as it was. Here's the deal. Y'all utilized the Kapora to allow a band member to be at the park and cause problems. Because the Kapora did not specifically state they couldn't be there.
Yeah.
It said they can't actively participate, but it didn't say they couldn't be at the park.
Correct.
Okay, and then a problem ensued, which ended up getting a person, they got their second suspension, or their first suspension turned into a ban. And so they utilized the Kapora to get what they wanted.
Yeah.
So then the Kapora got utilized against them, so they didn't get what they wanted, and they threw a fucking shitstorm because of it. And it was members outside of the park that did. Yeah.
So Bacon is saying the actions of these past few months have shined a wondrously bright light on what is wrong with our Kapora. Hopefully the changes proposed and the tweaks that follow will prevent any more shenanigans. Or is it in the Kapora?
Well, I've already written the correction. The problem is we've already passed the deadline for the Kapora submissions.
Yes.
So I've already written the change that will resolve that problem. Because all it does, it doesn't add a paragraph.
Technically, what can happen, and it states this in Kapora, that if you miss the deadline, it can still be put into an all thing, but
it takes 45 days.
No. This is if it's past the 45 days. Because I was the previous KPM.
Yes.
Okay. So if it passes the 45 days, because the 45 days is for the actual announcement, for the actual notification. Yeah. If it goes past that, then what can happen is it can still be added to the all thing docket and voted on if a vote of affirmative action is given before the vote itself. So it has to pass 2 votes.
Yeah.
Vote of affirmative action.
Well, I think after this shitstorm, it won't have a problem passing 2 votes. I don't think it'll be a problem at all.
Maybe. Because
all it does is it adds to 1, 2, 3. It's kind of ironic that the Kapora line is 1, 2, 3.
Which by the way, Jill already shot a hole through your...
My first one.
Your first one.
My first one, because it said where it's your credits and your credits and your dues, where you're eligible with your credits and your dues. Well, then Jill turned around and told me, he said, well, I could be eligible in Devil's Bayou and pay dues there, then move to Trader's Gate, get to eligibility before the lapse
6
on
months.
the other one starts.
Yeah.
And pay my dues there, and now I'm technically eligible to vote in both. Well, yeah, technically, yeah, you would be. So I revised that to say where your credits are located, and your dues. Okay, so that way it ends it, because if you transfer to another park, your credits transfer.
Yes.
Okay, so now because our Kapora just states you have to have credit.
Yes.
X amount of credits in X amount of time.
7 weeks.
It does
credits,
but
weeks.
Okay, but it doesn't say where.
Correct.
Okay, in this one, what it'll do is line 2 will base it to that 1, 2, 3 will say, because it says that you are able to participate in all things kingdom and provincial. Line 2 will say, with the exception of voting on a provincial level will only be where your credits and your dues are housed.
Yes.
Okay, so that means when you transfer, your credits go with you.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that, oh, for the past 7 months, you signed in 2 different parks, you're now eligible in 2 different parks, all you gotta do is pay your dues in 2 different parks.
Correct.
Okay, because by the standard of way we do things with our scheduling, you could technically get eligible in 4 parks right now.
Yeah, technically.
You know, so you could be voting in 4 parks, and then, yeah, okay, the parks are going to get more money out of the deal because all you got to do is pay $6 in each single park, and you're eligible to vote in all 4. And then at that point, if you're going to go out of your way to pay $6 to every single one of those parks, I'd almost be saying, why the fuck can't you vote? Right. You've contributed to the operation of all 4 of those parks. You have a vested interest.
Shit.
Okay, so that's why I revised that second line, so that second line covers it. We don't need Big Kingdom. We need park level monarchy who say, no, if you aren't a member of my park, you can't vote here. Well, here's the deal to that, because me and Crispin talked about that today. You know, there's only 2 parks in CK that have no rule about voting. There's only 2 parks that have no rules about voting. Murky Waters, of course, is one of them, and I can't remember the other one. Nocturnus. All the rest of the parks have a rule on voting in their own elections.
Yeah, and usually it is at the monarch's discretion of the park.
Yeah.
And the way that they usually choose is either it is only members of the province, and it's either they have to follow the Kapora and be contributing members.
Yes.
Or it can be just a provincial vote where dues paid does not matter.
Well, you can't pass any rule in your operations of your park that prohibit or do anything to supersede or contradict the Kapora. You can't do that.
Correct, but if it's at a provincial level, there's nothing that states that you can't do that.
No, and I understand that's another thing where we're coming down to tradition, because in the ROP it specifically states you cannot pass a rule that violates the ROP.
Correct.
Okay, that's in there.
Yeah, correct.
So in this situation, yeah, our Kapora does not say a park doesn't have the right to supersede the Kapora and contradict it, and that's another thing that I'm going to add in there.
Yeah. Now, usually when it comes to provincial level voting for stuff like where it doesn't matter if you're dues paid or not, it usually boils down to park business. Like, hey, are we like if they have an all thing to decide, you know, what dates they're going to use for, you know, their mid-reign or for their coronation and everything like that, they can either choose, or even for the actual provincial level voting.
Yes.
They can either choose that only, you know, contributing members, as stated in Section 1 or Section 2 of the Kapora.
Okay.
Or it is every member of the park has a vote.
Yes.
Because they want the voice of the park to be heard.
Yeah. And that's understandable. Like I said, my main change is to eliminate, or is to change 1, 2, 3 to define voting.
Yes.
Because if you look at our Kapora, there's nothing that clearly defines voting other than the fact of how you're eligible to vote.
Correct.
So it's going to have a definition to limit provincial voting, so that way this is a thing that never happens again.
Which I think would actually be a good thing.
You know, because as of right now, you know, if Devil's Bayou was doing elections, say next weekend, by the rule, I could show up and I could vote in Devil's Bayou's elections.
Technically. You
know, right now as it stands. And I made the joke that I would do that. I made the joke. I'm like, I'm going to vote in everybody's elections till I get this Kapora changed. But then I'm like, yeah, I realized that after all this shit, I'm like, you know, no, I'm not going to get involved in that. I'm not going to do that because it's just, now it's me being an ass. I proved my point.
You don't need to be like me.
No, I'm just like you. I just do different shit. But the thing is I proved my point. You know, the point has been proven and exposed that there is a big ass hole when it comes to voting procedures.
Yes.
And it's never been exposed until now.
Correct.
And it got laid out there, and the thing is, the people who were most upset by it were the ones who actually looked more of an ass about the situation than the people who were actually doing it.
Correct.
You know, and then like I said, Tuesday night we decided to close the vote. It was like, okay, or Monday night we said the vote's over, we're not going to take any more. And our agreement went as follows. We're going to take the hard count. The people who showed up, paid dues, and voted.
Yes.
If there's a tie, We will then go to absentee votes that are outside of the park.
Yes.
If and again there's a tie, then the monarch will exercise his discretion as per the Kapora and cast the tie-breaking vote.
Yes.
We all agreed on that. We went to it, and fortunately, we didn't have to count any votes from outside. We only received 3 votes from outside the kingdom anyway, or outside the park anyway. We only received 3. I'm not going to put anybody on blast and say who they were.
One of them was not me.
He did not do it.
Nope.
And I got a 2-hour ass chewing today by Crispin because I did not take the moral high road. And I get it. I understand. And I have nothing against Crispin.
Okay. Mike. Mike said senpai.
Senpai. I do not have the mathematical equation for pi, so therefore I cannot type it.
3.1 for 159.265. I forgot the rest.
Yeah, so...
yeah. No, but he didn't say pi as in the mathematical numeral. He's saying pi.
I'm not sending you any pi. I'm always trying to get more pi, so why would I send pi? The thing is, it may get me banned for violating COC.
Senpai!
It may get me banned for violating a COC violation, because I'm... Oh, speaking of which, because you were not made aware...
Oh, it's Javi. Hi, Javi. What? Whoa.
Okay.
Javi from GP.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Wow. Okay. Well.
So anyway, speaking of people and see, you want to? Did you get told how bad the reactions were on Sunday at our park?
I didn't.
We had an individual that was so upset that this was being this part of the Kapora is being used. He took out a Kapora, Kingdom Kapora, tore the first 2 pages out, which entails that section, and wiped his ass at park with it.
Who was it? Who was it?
It was Oli.
No,
Fernando. You met. Yeah, he was out there one day when you were out there.
But who was I around? You and Lufa.
This is true. But yeah, he did. He no shit, really. Good pun there. Good pun. But yeah, no, he did. He took it, stuffed it down his pants, wiped his ass, and he said, "This is how I feel," and then started begging for a COC.
Was the streaks brown or green?
I wasn't there. I was fighting in a tournament to at least secure one of the positions of champion I was going for, which I did. I got it.
Okay.
Distant that motherfucker and who was the other one? God. Oh.
Did you win?
No, I didn't win the whole thing. I won champion.
Okay, cool.
You know, but anyway, I didn't even place in the top 3 in the whole tournament.
Okay, but you still qualified, right?
Yeah, well, the guy that I was up against only scored 1 point, and I scored 10. So.
Oh, Bodie?
No,
not Bodie.
No, not Bodie. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that one dude.
Yeah, but the cool part is this is what I did as a stand-up guy. The kid really wanted a shot at champion, okay, and he didn't get it, so he wants a shot at that role. So what I've done is I told him, I said, "You're now going to be my champion's assistant."
Your shadow.
He is going to apprentice under me to actually learn how to do the job. So that way, as I'll have been champion for a full year, I'll have to step down at the end of this reign.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can step up. So I like to do that. If I'm only running against one person in an office, if they lose to me, I will immediately say, if they've never done it before, say, okay, now you're going to be my shadow for this reign, so you can see how you do it. That way, people are more inclined to vote for you next time.
Yes. Because
they know that the person they voted for, who they wanted, trained them how to do it, so they're getting somebody that they can rely on.
So Bacon says, so you think things will settle down in the last month of this reign?
I think so, because, and the reason why I think so is because a lot of people are looking forward to the end of that reign and the beginning of another one. I think people are going to kind of back down about it. I think people, I mean, you got to realize we just had Banner Wars. Yeah. Okay. we're not too far out from we had Keep. We did. So we've had a bunch of shit that's gone on, a bunch of events and stuff. People right now are tired. Yeah. A lot of traveling. So I don't think we're gonna have a whole big shitstorm file up in the next 3 weeks before we get to Kingdom Coronation, and then we'll see what happens at Kingdom Coronation.
Honestly, my hypothesis is that it is not going to settle down. Something will pop up.
Well, I don't think it'll be our kingdom. I think our kingdom.
No.
I think our kingdom's will get quiet.
I think. Bacon says subtle, but I'm ready for oh shit.
What happened in the CK now?
I'm honestly expecting something big to happen in the CK, just because of the fact that we are starting to get quiet. And what happens when the CK gets quiet?
Something's brewing.
Something is fucking brewing.
There's a volcano getting ready to pop its top.
And I have a feeling if it's not...
Cough, cough, cricks, cough, cough.
Yes, incidentally, the dumpster has been lit. Golden Plains calls for aid. Yes. I'm not even going to get into the Golden Plains dumpster fire right now, because I think we talked about it.
What was that one?
The one where Monkey was asking for Ryujin's stuff for his Warlord's belt.
We didn't get a chance to talk about that because that's just come up not too recently.
No, it's been going on for...
Well, it's been going on for a great minute, but we haven't covered Monkey calling for that except for the fact that now they've proven he's gotten that. They proved that he got that shit.
Yeah.
So now he has there's no way to call it except now they're bitching that, oh, well, he didn't fight anybody.
Yeah.
You know, legitimately.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's just a subject that just...
Yeah, we'll get there.
There's really nowhere to go with that because now it's just a matter of opinion on whether or not you think somebody's... And we're talking about Monkey. Ryujin...
Yeah, Ryujin purportedly not earned his Warlord or his sword.
No
records exist to prove he has, therefore it's up for question.
Well, but the thing is what I heard today is the individuals who have given the awards, with the exception of I think one or two, have been tracked down and stated they gave him the awards.
Yeah. Well, Javi is in GP and he has his ear on everything.
Well, no, and I know Javi has his ear on everything, so I'm not questioning what Javi said. It's just I got information today that now all but two have been verified. Yeah. And the other two, the two that are missing are people that aren't even a member of Amtgard anymore. Yeah. They've like gone away forever. So, you know, they have a process. I ran through the same thing, okay, because I had 7 orders of the rose, okay, and I had them all in paper form. They were in my storage shed because I didn't have room for the filing cabinet and where I was at, and plus a bunch of other shit I had. We had a real bad flood come through Carson City. All of my shit, my awards were sitting on the bottom drawer of the storage shed.
Water damage.
And when the flood came into the city, when the river overflowed, it rose 4.5 feet. What my storage shed area was at a low point of the city. Every one of those awards up to I think number 6, number 7. I had 7 of them up to all the way up. Number 7 was actually printed and done right. Yeah. All the rest of them were all hand drawn.
Oh yeah.
So the water just completely wiped them out. It took 3 years. It took 3 years to track down all the people that wrote it, Baggy being the hardest one because Baggy gave me 2 of them. Okay, because Father Thomas gave me 2 of them, Hans Schmidt gave me 2 of them, Baggy gave me 2 of them, and then Isom gave me 1, and Scar gave me 1. The one that Scar gave me, of course, was Scar being dead. Nobody could verify it, so the cool part is Westmarch, in thanking me for all the hard work and helping with the Kapora and helping support them to build their kingdom, they went ahead and gave me number 7 and number 8.
Cool.
And they ended the controversy because the thing is, it's either in Orc or the highest one you have on hand. Yeah. Okay. Which I have 7 and 8, and now I have 9. I have 9. Okay. So that's all been resolved. But
we're both at 9.
Yeah, there you go. I know. Bam. I told you you tied me, and I've already put you in for number 10.
Seriously?
Yeah, I put you in for your 10th.
Son of a bitch.
Dude, all that shit you did at Keep, come on.
You weren't even there.
I didn't have to be there. People called me. People were like, Yamish, you're friends with Fister, right? Yeah. Motherfucker, why is he not a knight? Because he's not a knight. He doesn't have the box tops.
I'm a dick. That's
and I'm like, he's got 9 roses because they were like, well, service, man. He should be a fucking flame knight. Well, he's got 9 roses. Motherfucker needs a 10th. Guaranteed. And these are people that I could take a lot of fucking stock in what they say. And if they tell me you deserve it, they're stingy motherfucking knights.
Was one of them Darkblade?
No.
Well, Matthew Fleming?
No, Matthew was not one of them. They told me. But one of them is a very, very stingy Flame Knight. Like, he doesn't really sign off on anybody.
Was it Razor?
No.
Oh.
It was somebody who was in Iron Mountains for a while, then went over to Golden Vale, and I think he's in Northern Lights now. I can't remember.
Smurf?
It wasn't Smurf. I know Smurf. Wasn't Smurf.
I like Smurf.
But anyway, but yeah, no, I got recommendations for it, so I already submitted it, because you should.
First,
we have this thing called the interwebs.
interwebs.
And we do, and
Yes.
ever since the interwebs happened, people have gotten in contact with me a lot. And the reason why people get in contact with me so much is because they'll have an issue come up and they know Yamish doesn't give fucks about people's personal opinions. So Yamish will blast the fuck out of it. This is why Yamish is not a knight. Yamish has done a lot of shit, but Yamish has not a knight because Yamish has stepped on his own fucking feet so many fucking times because I kiss no one's ass. Nobody's ass. If you come to me and you're a knight and you say I got this idea and I think it's crap, I will look you right in the face and go, that is the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard. Don't ever talk about this again.
Which you've told me that several times.
And I will fucking let you know this is a bad idea. Like Kingdom of Crystal Groves. That's a bad fucking idea.
Yeah, let's not even go there.
Okay.
So getting back to what Bacon was asking about, shit coming up in the CK, I do believe that if not prior to Endrain, it will happen at Endrain. For a few reasons. One, because I'm the autocrat for Endrain. And of course, there's going to be a lot of shit talking.
I don't know if anybody's going to try to do shit at Endrain because people are going to be worried you'll go through and just cut a bitch.
Which I actually almost did at Banner Wars, which we'll talk about after this.
So I think people will be more scared of you flipping off the fucking handle and just mass murdering everybody at the park. I mean, it looked like Jonestown the morning after.
Oh shit!
Fucking all these dead bodies just laid everywhere.
Or the Route 90 Country Music Festival.
There's nowhere at that entire site where you could climb to a high enough position to get everybody.
I just go stabby.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Go stand in one of those trees? Have you been around those trees enough? Them fuckers are barely hanging in there. Okay.
Right. But honestly, I think with Watcher winning the election,
of course, Bacon's like, just make the Kool-Aid.
Yes, I'm making Kool-Aid.
They're like, hey, Fister's got killer Kool-Aid. And I'm watching people fucking drop going,
Literally.
I'm going to be the only motherfucker to survive this shit because I can tell this story for my next 20 years in Amtgard. No shit, there we were.
But honestly, the way that I say it is because members of the CK are so scrupulous and they're so scrutinizing. With Watcher coming in, and I believe he would technically be first-time monarch in the CK.
He will be the first-time monarch in the CK. He's been in the CK for a long-ass fucking time.
He has.
I think he's got 22 years into my 21. He was in 1 year prior to me.
Yeah. So the thing is, with the way that this current reign has gone, and the way that people in the CK are, he's going to be under a microscope.
Well, and he's already under a microscope because the controversy leading up through this election of the wheeling and dealing to get votes.
Yeah.
So,
It was Bella.
Yeah, no, they're cool.
And Get Fox.
But no, they're the wheeling and dealing to get votes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, let's not even try to bullshit anybody in this. The amount of ass kissing to your fighting company to try and get your guys' vote, okay, was unreal. It was. I've never seen a monarchy, with the exception of maybe when Isam ran and the Saracens did it. Mm-hmm. Okay, I've never seen that much going to one fighting company to try and make a decision, to try and get a decision. Okay, and the thing is, if any of you guys paid attention or seen the CK page, he still only won by one vote.
Yeah, one vote.
And I can tell you right now, if one individual who happens to be an elected person in the kingdom would have paid his fucking dues, it would have been a dead tie.
Yes.
It would have been a dead heat. I don't understand how you're in an office. I mean, I realize that position is not saved because the Kapora says if you're monarch, regent, prime minister, or champion, you are considered dues paid during the entirety of your reign, regardless.
Correct.
Even if it expires 2 days after you take office,
yes,
it doesn't expire until 2 days after you step down.
Yes.
But in that position, you're not saved by it. And still casting a vote when you're not dues paid. It's just ridiculous.
Correct.
But the thing is, you know, if he would have been eligible and was able to have his vote counted, we would have been a dead heat, 41-41.
Yes, it would have.
And then Armand would have had to step in and make a decision, and that, my friends, would have been the next dumpster fire.
Yes, it would have.
That would have been the next dumpster fire, because as soon as he'd have made a decision, then somebody would come up.
Oh, well, he's only doing it because...
Jave's like, I paid dues in the CK once. Can I vote?
No.
No, you can't.
Voting's already done.
Voting's over. Okay,
Yeah.
but still...
And honestly, it would have been because Armand had to break the tie.
And just because he had to break... Even though the Kapoor says
that the
that's
Monarch
what
is
he
the
does,
tiebreaker.
it would... One side or the other would have just fucking blew up.
Exactly. We'd be like, oh, well, he voted for this person
because of this.
Because of this. Or he voted for this person because of them.
Yeah, so it would have been a fucking nightmare. Period.
Another dumpster fire.
You know, but that didn't happen. It was the closest election I've never actually seen. I'm sure it may have happened in a kingdom and I wasn't paying attention to it. But I've never seen one come that close where it was decided by one vote.
I mean, technically, when I ran for Regent of Slaughter Creek, it was 16-14, and I won by 2 votes versus no confidence.
Oh, dude! When I became king of KCG, I got 62 votes for me, and there was 38 no confidence votes.
Fucking bacon! I say if there was a tie, let the Magic Master tourney take place to decide the winner. Make it a real shitstorm.
Oh god, then Crix would just fucking explode. You could see his head explode from miles and miles away.
It would be the next Alderaan.
But you voted no contest on no confidence on yourself. I voted no confidence for myself.
No. When I was running for Regent,
when I ran for king, I literally did. I voted no confidence for myself.
Yes, you are right, Bacon. I did vote no confidence on myself because I did just to make a point. And apparently, 2 people, instead of voting no confidence like I told them to, decided to vote for me. And they're like, haha, now you have to suffer.
Yeah, which took you over the edge.
Yeah, after I got banned for playing a fucking song.
You know, but still, I mean, it's I was sitting there, actually, the Prime Minister for my kingdom contacted me midway through the count, go, dude, right now you're behind no confidence. You're down by like 10 votes.
What's funny is that there's actually a member of the CK in Wickerwood whose Amtgard name is No Confidence.
So either... then how do you count that ballot because they signed no confidence? Removed from play, not banned, we couldn't ban.
Okay, suspension.
But
semantics.
How do you count that vote? If there's no confidence, either way, no confidence wins. So do you like put an asterisk next to the one that legitimately counts as, no, you can't, this person doesn't get the office, so that way they know the difference between the two?
So pretty much it's like writing in a name on a ballot.
It is.
Kind of like how 15,000 people during the presidential elections got up, got dressed, and wrote in Harambe.
Dude, what are you talking about? Mickey Mouse got more votes in this election than he has in any other presidential election ever. So, I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous. Suspension equals ban, CK.
Actually, no, suspension does not mean ban in the Cyclopedia.
No, not really. There is suspensions and there is bans.
Yes.
Speaking of suspensions and bans, do we think now with the new monarch that's coming in, do we foresee that there's going to be one removed? You know which one I'm talking about. One of the most recent ones. Involving a knight.
For the wetlands?
Yes. Do you foresee the new monarch coming in, even if he waits a month, eventually caving in and removing CK's support of that ban?
No.
You don't think he'll do it?
The only way that I can see that happening is if the wetlands itself removes the ban.
And the incoming monarch for the wetlands, because she's running unopposed.
Yes.
Has already said she plans on removing it.
Now, here's the thing, and we were actually talking about this at Banner Wars, because of the fact that it was under a COC 3.
Yeah.
It was technically it was under COC 1, 3, and 6.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, COC 3 is an indefinite ban no matter what.
Yeah.
Period.
I still think it was mislabeled.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I think a lot of people jumped real fast.
They did.
And didn't do a thorough enough job on it.
Yeah. But here's the thing. With the way that the CK has upheld the ban that the wetlands had put on him, was that it was stated in good faith to our neighboring kingdoms, we will uphold this ban to show support.
Yes.
So if that kingdom is to lift their own ban, then we would end up following suit.
Well, we would, but the thing is like I said, if I would have ran for king and won, okay, let me, because I've been a king, so I can put myself into this scenario. Because
talking about Black Wolf,
it did happen where a ban happened on Monkey for wearing clothes.
And the terrorist one.
The terrorist one, right? And the first four kingdoms, the first four kingdoms said they supported it. I was the first monarch in the COM on the COM's E-Samurai page to sit there and say, I'm not supporting this. We bitched all the time that he's running around in a leopard print bikini, and now we're going to kick him out because he put clothes on. I was like, no, I'm not supporting this. And then eventually Golden Veil followed suit. Golden Plains finally backed down.
Yeah.
Because I raised a stink about it. I got Northern Lights to support me on it. I got Tal de Gore to support me on it.
Yeah.
And then eventually it fell apart.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was the way they went about it was so dumb that it made no sense and there was no reason to back it up. Now, given the situation than this, because I feel, and I went through and saw everything that had to do with the investigation on it. Okay. I got access to see everything involved. I didn't get to see the official reports. But I got to hear what the official reports were.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, being a former king and being a former law enforcement officer, you put three witnesses together. Okay, and unless you keep them in the same room the entire time during interrogation, their stories are not going to be identical, no matter what you do.
Correct.
Because you put four people in a room and bounce a ball across the street, you get four different interpretations about how the ball bounced across the street. Okay.
Yes.
Same thing. They were almost rehearsed. The wording.
That wasn't for the guard.
Stupid.
The wording of it was just stupid. He mocked a player having a medical emergency and proceeded to
He mocked a player that was supposed to be suffering from PTSD, and that's what the claim was.
Yeah.
However, the ban was written up as in the garb that he was wearing caused the problem.
Yes.
Okay, so I just couldn't support it. I just couldn't do it.
From what I remember, because this happened like what, 2 years ago?
No, it was when I was king, so that was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I was over here in the Sea Cave at that time. But what I remember was that
sounds like a monkey band. You are correct, Kill Mill.
Yes.
You are correct.
Yeah. So from what I remember was that he was supposed to be banned from the park because of the guard.
And then Kingdom upheld it.
Yeah, because Monkey was being a dick.
Which monkey can be a dick when this shit happens?
Which GP actually has in their rules something called the monkey rules.
Yes, they do. Yes,
I was there when it was put into their fucking whatever the fuck that they call it of a Kapora. 9 Willows.
Oh no! Yeah, no, I know it was at your park, and you guys impeached the monarchy for the wording. But it was the way the wording came, because in fact it was Mike. Mike was the monarch of Golden Vale at the time, and this, he said, "Dude, have you seen this?" And I'm like, "What?" And he tagged me in it, and then I read it, and then I read what popped up on ESAM, and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? You guys just did a ban for somebody wearing clothes that doesn't wear clothes on the field." I said, because that's what it came down to with the write-up. And that's not, and I found out that was not the reason for it, but that's what got wrote. And I'm like, you guys, I can't believe you. But anyway, we got off track there. Let me get back to where we were at. Okay, after seeing all this and realizing, to me, it really looked like they rushed through this.
They really did.
To try to prevent this from becoming a big issue instead of taking time. And I would have to sit there and I would have to confab with the monarch of the wetlands and say, okay, here's the deal. This is where I'm at. Are you going to remove it or not? Because I am now at the point where I'm possibly going to remove it, and I'm going to tell you it's because I don't think you guys did a thorough enough investigation. I think there's a lot of people that have a dislike for him, and those people utilize this opportunity to throw him right into the fire.
Now,
if it would have been done thoroughly and investigated properly, and all the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted in the situation, then it would be bulletproof, and there would be nothing anybody could do about it.
Now, I will like to make a point. Just that some people actually do tend to overlook, is that when this happened, he dropped his knight's belts.
He did, and the problem is I wouldn't reinstate him.
No.
Because he made the conscious decision himself to drop them.
So the thing is, if you look at somebody who gets banned and they drop their belts, usually, in my opinion, is an admission of guilt.
It wasn't an admission of guilt. He was okay. First of all, let's talk about. Let's say who. Okay, we know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. He angry.
A
lot of bad shit going on in his regular personal life.
Yes.
All of it came to a head. He got upset and made a bad decision and dropped his belts. It wasn't because he was admitting that he was guilty. He did not say that I'm dropping these belts because I feel that I have completely stepped out of line and He was mad as shit and dropped his belts over it because as a way to kind of like try to stick the finger in somebody's face over the deal.
Okay.
And unfortunately, like I said, I would not if he transferred all of his credits back to CK, okay, where they used to be.
Yes.
I still would not, as a monarch, ask to go to the COK and say we need to reinstate his belts because he just made a bad decision.
Yeah.
I would look at it and say, no, this is a decision you need to live with and learn how not to throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you can re-earn them back. You still have all your masterhoods.
You just got to prove.
Now you just got to show us that, hey, look, you fucked up. Now I'm fixing it. And then I'd be cool with it.
Yeah.
You know? But I would get to the point, like I said, where I would sit down with them and say, okay, here's where I'm at on this ban suspension. Can we at least, if we're not going to remove it, if we want to stay on record, then can we at least move it to a, say, 6 month and let him come back? Can we at least go to that level? That way people that want him gone still get what they want. Oh, hi, Harlow.
Hello, Harlow.
Oh, man, she's going to bed. I mean, you've not met Harlow.
I haven't met her, but I've spoken to her.
She is fucking amazing.
I know.
You want to talk about somebody that RPs the shit out of things. Harlow is fucking amazing, and I love Harlow to death.
Her and I are part of the same household with Bobby.
You've seen what I wear as a belt favor, the long black and red striped one that has the S bone on it, Saracens. She made that. It's actually a pole flag.
Nice.
It's supposed to be on the pole, but I've redone the pole so many times I kept dropping it that I put it on my belt.
Nice.
But anyway, so tell her I love her and I miss her, and I hope that God she makes it down to a CK event.
Yeah, tell her to come for CK End Rain where Redneck is getting knighted.
Yeah, Redneck's getting knighted. So lowering the ban from indefinite to a set term will satisfy what would happen. Okay, so Kill Mill even agrees with that, and I think that's something that should be looked into. And I even mentioned that to Watcher, who's going to be the new king.
Yes.
And even Watcher said that before. He liked the idea of having it removed to a 6 month, which means what, next month I think he would be back.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, so by the time they get done, if she has to go to a wedding next month up in Virginia, we're aiming at Spring War. Okay. You better, or else I'm just going to drive up there and pick up your asses.
But still, you yourself, Hobby, still need to come because Redneck is getting knighted.
Yes, Redneck is getting knighted.
Redneck is getting knighted. Yes.
But yeah, oh, that's right, Patrick. Isn't that Patrick and what's her name's wedding in Virginia next month? I believe that's what that is. By the way, I love these guys. Patrick Kelly and Kenny Chambers are getting married. Patrick's a veteran. He's a Saracen. Finally got smart and realized the Saracens were the best option and not that other stupid ass fucking fighting company he was in. They're wonderful people. Really, really great fucking people. And I'm glad to see that they're going to finally get married and get done with that. And I wish I could be there. I really do. But anyway, so that's where I'm at on that one. What was the other thing we wanted to talk about, Amtgard?
Banner Wars.
Yeah, you got to go. I could not get the time off for it.
So Banner Wars, granted, you know, I spent my entire event sitting on gate or in the kitchen.
Like usual.
Like usual. Well, usually I'm generally in the kitchen, but this time, you know, I was at gate, and that's because I was supporting Marcy.
Yeah.
Marcy was the co-gated crack. She was the EH liaison. And, you know, at the time, when I say, you know, help her out, there was only like 5 people who signed up for gate shifts.
For an IKC event.
Yeah. So, because only 5 people signed up for gate shifts at that point, it was going to be her and the other co-gated crack that would have to cover all of them. So I said, you know what? It's all good.
God, I wish I could have been there.
So I
Just said my tent.
So I said it's all good. I'll be there to back you up, fill the slots that need to be filled.
Bacon, you can ask if you want. We'll cover that in a minute.
Yeah. But when it got closer to the event, all of them except for 2 got filled, and then the other 2 got filled when we got to the event.
Okay, so
In fact, Lufa busted his ass. He sat on gate for a total of 14 hours.
Give that man a rose.
He did awesome. He did a great fucking job.
I heard great things about Lufa at the event.
Oh, he did great.
I definitely got a good report.
There is one Saracen who kind of pissed me off. Well, I don't think he's the fullest. He's actually from your park.
Who?
Bodhi.
Oh God.
I will talk about that later.
Well, Bodhi
after the stream.
Okay, Bodhi got his SI, so you know.
I'll speak about it after the stream.
Okay, well, yeah, that's something.
So,
I mean, one day I swear, one of these days, I swear to God, the Saracens are going to throw a coup and they're going to end up making me high speaker of the Saracens. For some fucking reason, I think that's coming.
Yeah. So while I was sitting on gate, you know, I went over to Sutra's tent because he has prestige, and they had an ANS grab bag event where he had Ziploc bags full of arts and crafts supplies.
And you had to make something, right?
Yeah, make something.
God, I love those. Those are great. So, I always end up making dumb shit. Yeah. But they're always fun.
So I made a thong.
That does not fucking surprise me whatsoever.
Out of Ninja Turtles fabric.
Still does not surprise me.
Because I found... So I took the Ninja Turtles fabric, found a string of lace, and some string. So I borrowed Marcy's liquid stitch glue, and fashioned a thong out of it.
That's not in the grab bag though. Did he say you were allowed to use?
In the rules,
okay.
It states that you are allowed to use pins, needles, sewing thread, glue, tape, so on and so forth, and you can sew as long as you are not using a machine.
Okay, so it's still just got to be done by hand.
Correct.
Okay.
So I made a thong for Sutra, and Sutra even said that he was going to try it. He was going to try and put it on.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really awesome. So, getting to it, you know, I was asked by a member of a household I was a part of, because the household was doing a lunch.
Yes.
If I was busy. I was like, well, I'm sitting on gate.
Okay.
She goes, well, because they kind of need help in the kitchen. So I looked around, there's people on gate, you know, who was supposed to be on shift and everything. Marcy was there, so it was Ari, you know, both gated crowds.
Yeah.
They're like, you go ahead and do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, that's your thing, go do it. So I was like, okay, well, what needs to be done? So she said, well, a lot of vegetables need to be cut.
Which is your thing.
Which is my thing.
You cut shit.
And she said...
He will cut a bitch. He almost did.
Getting to that.
I know you are.
So anyways, this is a story of how I almost got banned in the wetlands in EH.
Here we go, folks.
Almost. So no shit, there I was. So I go ahead, drive my vehicle all the way across the site to the feast hall, which actually was really nice. It was air conditioned. It was awesome. Small kitchen, by the way. So I get up there, I got my knife kit, got my chef's kit and everything like that. I get in there, I'm like, okay, what needs to be done? So I start talking to Muskrat.
So for those of you who don't know about chefs and their knives, okay, touching another chef's knife is like touching his penis without his permission. It legitimately is. Okay, I've met a lot of high-end chefs, including this one. Touching their equipment is like touching their genitalia without permission.
Yes.
You just don't fucking do it.
Correct.
Period. You lose parts of you when you do it.
Literally.
Continue on.
So, I go ahead, lay out my kit, I start pulling my equipment that I need, because I'm already told what needs to be done. Okay, cool, so I pull my chef's knife, I start using my honing steel, I'm like, alright, awesome, good, I got it going.
I've got at least one person I know that's an initiate that's definitely going to be helping you out, Bacon.
Awesome. So I go ahead, put my honing steel away, grab my peeler, I'm off doing my thing. I had 2 people come up and ask me if they could use one of my knives.
Which is nice. They asked you.
Yeah, they asked me. I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay, what do you need cut? What are you cutting? Oh, tomatoes and lettuce.
Okay, so you give them a specific knife for that.
So, for the lady who was cutting the tomatoes, I let her use my bread knife. Because it works for tomatoes as well. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Then for the lettuce, because they need another knife, I was like, you know what? For this, I'm okay with my fillet knife being used on the lettuce, because it's mostly empty air.
Yeah, it is. There's no resistance to cause any
there's
damage
no
to the blade.
resistance, so it won't fuck up my fillet knife.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, when you guys are done using it, wash it.
Yeah.
Leave it so I can go ahead, take care of it, and put it away. Awesome. So, what's going to end up happening is, I'm going ahead, doing my thing, going to fucking town. I finish cutting the zucchini and the carrots.
Yeah.
The entire time that I'm cutting, I have my music going, because you know how chefs are.
Yep.
We like having our music because it keeps us zen.
You're in your own world.
We're in our world, so that way we're constantly moving and we don't have to think.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. The entire time, I have somebody talking shit. The entire time about me being there.
Are we going to name names?
No.
Okay.
We're not going to name names.
Yes.
So, I go ahead, finish my thing, I clean up my equipment that I'm using. Come around. And there's 2 people who pulled equipment from my kit and started using them. Without my permission.
Bad.
One of them was using my fillet knife to cut onions.
The Viking kicked in.
So, you don't use a fillet knife to cut onions, because onions have a lot of resistance.
Yes.
You will break a fillet knife, because the fillet knife is meant to bend.
It's meant to bend in a certain direction, so you can go through and you can cut thin sections.
So it goes around bone.
Yeah.
So it follows the meat in the bone.
Yeah, I've used the fillet knife when I've gutted fish.
Yeah.
When I've cleaned fish.
Oh yeah. So you
that
get those
way
nice fucking fillets.
That way you get and you can carve around the spine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what a fillet knife is supposed to
Yeah.
do. So I was so pissed.
I don't doubt it.
So pissed that these people were taking shit out of my bag.
Yeah.
Because one, that's an invasion of my privacy. You disrespected me, and you're also disrespecting my equipment.
Exactly.
And my kit is not cheap.
Mm-mm.
It's not cheap whatsoever.
You ain't getting this kit at Walmart, fans.
No. This is a 36-piece chef's kit from Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
Mercer's are high-grade German cutlery.
I've heard of them. I've never got to work with them.
My kit alone costs about $800 to $900.
Bacon's like, what? Is that a COC violation? Technically, it could be. Using it without your permission at that level of property would be technically be theft.
Not necessarily.
Well, okay.
Not necessarily. So, I was like, you know what? Because I had a 10-inch chef's knife in my hand, I wasn't going to get upset. Because when a chef gets angry, shit starts flying.
Okay.
Either that or the chef's going to go cray-cray and go stab-stab. I almost did, so I packed up the rest of my shit and said, alright, for those of you who are still using my equipment, whether you ask permission or not, when you're done using it, clean it to my standard and leave it.
Yes.
I have to go
Pretty basic fucking instructions.
I have to go back to the hotel, check up on my dog.
Which is doing good.
He's doing a lot better. He's doing a lot better. He got really overheated. On top of that, he grew 2 inches in 2 days.
Okay, so he went
during
through a
the
big
event.
growth spurt. Got it.
So he had diarrhea, he was overheated, and so on and so forth. So I left him at the hotel in his kennel so he can cool off and have the AC going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So I go back, check up on him. I get back to the kitchen about an hour later.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, now that they're lunch is done being prepped, I'm going to prep my lunch. Mine and Marcy's lunch.
The deer meat that you
The deer meat.
Yeah.
Because I saved some deer venison. I saved some deer venison that I marinated the week prior. So it's been sitting in that rub with its own moisture for a week.
Oh.
Yeah. So
definitely no longer gamey.
It wasn't gamey to begin with.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
It was awesome.
Sometimes you get venison and it comes out gamey.
Beautiful. So I go back. So I still have my kit with me. I go to the kitchen. Muskrat's in there cleaning dishes. All right, cool. I go, hey, have you seen my knives? He goes, how many are you missing and what do they look like? I said, I'm missing 3. They look silver, full tang, black handle on this side of the knife, and showed him my chef's knife. I was like, on this side, you'll see this logo says Mercer. On the other side, you're going to see my initials.
Yes.
And he goes, okay. I found my bread knife. I was left exactly where I was told them to. Alright, cool. Him and I start tearing the entire fucking kitchen apart.
Mm-hmm.
Can't find my fucking knives. My 6-inch fillet and my 4-inch paring knife.
Okay.
Those are not cheap.
Nope.
Can't find them whatsoever. So I got so pissed to the point where I said, you know what? Since nobody wants to respect me and respect my equipment, I'm just going to chalk it up as a fucking loss.
Which is a pretty big goddamn loss.
It's a huge loss.
Yeah.
Especially since, you know, that is...
Because don't you have to, like, custom reorder them, custom order them?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what? Chalk it up as a loss. I'm going to do my best to not get pissed off. I put my kit down. I have my chef's knife. And I'm starting to cut deer meat.
Yeah.
Into strips.
Okay.
This person who had been talking shit the entire time that I was doing the vegetables for the lunch that they were serving decides to pop off and goes, I hear you talking smack over there. If you want to talk shit, why don't you talk shit to my face?
While he has a 10-inch fucking chef's knife in his fucking hand.
At that point, I get so fucking pissed, I'm seeing red.
Don't doubt it.
My hair starts standing up. Muskrat, thank God he was there when he was, turns around to look at me, and he sees me doing a murder grip on my knife, and he sees that I'm about to turn around and start walking in the direction that this person was talking, because this person was still going off. So Muskrat grabs me by the shoulder, he goes, hey bud, and starts talking to me, grabs his phone, puts on music, we start listening to Tool, he pulls me down, I'm good. Muskrat saved me from getting banned. Person was still talking shit. So Muskrat goes, don't worry, I'm going to send people to go ahead and look. It might be in the other kitchen that's on the other side of the door. It might have gotten moved. We don't know, but we will find your knives. Okay. I'm like, I'm going to go back to cutting now and cooking. Going back to cutting and cooking, sure enough, they found my knives in the other kitchen under a bunch of shit. So, all in all, the only loss that I had from my kit was my paring knife's cover, which is only like 97 cents.
Okay.
So, I'm like, you know, whatever, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Okay, but I got the rest of my shit. Nothing's chipped, nothing's broken. Thank fucking God.
Yeah. Because with a fillet knife, once you damage the blade, it's over.
Yeah.
You can't get it back.
You can't.
No.
Whatsoever. So you have to get a whole new fucking fillet knife.
Yeah. And you're right, Muskrat is a pretty cool motherfucker.
Yeah.
He has his moments, but he's still a pretty cool motherfucker.
Zap.
There you go, right?
Well, Muskrat's actually my belt line. He is my knight's squire, so my knight's man-at-arms. So he's my man-at-arms bro.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be becoming the squire pretty soon. I'm going to be making his belt. It's going to be awesome.
Does he know?
I think so.
Okay, so I'm about to say, because if not, if he catches wind of this,
Yeah.
he's going to...
No, he knows. He knows. It's just my knight has to give me the belt blanks. That way I can tool it and do all the artsy-fartsy stuff.
Yeah.
Because apparently I do leather good. Yeah. So other that fiasco, Banner Wars is pretty good. I was there for Glenn's knighting.
Which was a very well-deserved knighting.
It was. It really was. Originally, Brennan was supposed to drop the sword on him. Brennan didn't make it to Banner Wars.
Yeah, I was going to say Brennan didn't make it.
Nope. Apparently some stuff happened and kept him from going.
Yeah. It's mundane shit.
Yeah. But Smiley went.
Mm-hmm.
Smiley went. Got to hang out with my bro for a little bit. So it was actually Amtgard, Michael Hammer of God, that dropped the sword on him.
Dude, that's a hell of an honor.
That is a hell of an honor.
I would hope that if I ever do get to knighting and Amtgard's still alive and died of old age, yeah, I would at least like Amtgard to be there.
Well, Amtgard will be at Spring War.
Good!
Yeah, he'll be at Spring. He's actually Warcraft.
Nice!
Yeah.
I haven't seen Michael in a while.
By the way, Amtgard actually personally walked up to me while I was sitting on gate Friday. Friday. And he said, "Hey, I remember you from Keep." He goes, "I wanted to come up and personally thank you for all the work that you did."
I tell you what, that's one good thing. That has always been one great characteristic about Amtgard, besides many of the others, is when Amtgard knows that somebody's done something,
yeah,
he makes sure that he takes the time to thank them for it.
And that's exactly what he said.
No matter who they are. That's
exactly what he said. I said, honestly, I was there because, they needed help, and I said I'd help. He goes, I understand that. He goes, but me personally, as one of the cracks, I wanted to go up and personally thank you because you made the experience better for everybody.
Yeah. And I've heard that by more than one person.
Even though I stood in the back doing nothing but talking shit and smoking.
Yeah, but the thing is I still heard that about that.
Hey, I love Orgy. I miss Orgy. Give him my love. Glenn's knighting was actually really nice.
I did love your gift.
Yes.
Your gift was amazing.
Okay, so out of all the gifts that Glenn got, for him getting, Knighted Sword, he got a beautiful tunic that was made by Sindara.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful.
I don't doubt it.
It was like white linen.
I've seen Sindara's work.
With a beautiful phoenix. Gravity of this, Harlow is Mama Huff Squire. Yamish, Harlow got belted.
Good!
Oh, I love Mama Huff. I miss Mama Huff. Give her my love too. Her and Orgy. So he also got another tunic that said Sir Kiera's boyfriend.
I heard about that.
That was fucking hilarious. Somebody actually made him his scroll with a wooden sword, where it was all wood burning.
Nice.
Oh, it was beautiful. But out of all the gifts that he got, Glenn said that mine was the most practical because I gave him a Band-Aid.
That is awesome.
I gave Glenn a fucking Band-Aid for his knighting. And he goes, "Hey, it works. It's the most practical."
I think that was awesome. Glenn's good people. I've only had a chance to physically run into Glenn once in my 20 years.
Was that while you were on the field and you were charging, couldn't stop, and you accidentally ran into him and he shoulder checked you?
No. It was at Clan. He was one of the people that picked me up after I got knocked unconscious by an arrow.
Oh!
Dude had a blown arrow out at Clan, and it went straight through, and the cap struck me right in the freaking dome.
Ouch.
Same Clan I got struck by lightning at on Thursday.
Wow.
Setting up my tent in the thunderstorm.
Wow.
But no. Other than that, I've talked to him a lot online.
Yeah.
And nothing but good things to say about him. All of his conversations have all been very reasonable, very educational. Definitely good. So he's good people.
So he got knighted. Termus had a lot of good things to say about Glenn, because apparently Termus got his sword's belt before Glenn, and the entire time it's been Glenn and Termus fighting each other, trying to get better.
Yeah.
Termus is like, "You are one hell of a fucking fighter."
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to have a chance to fight with him.
Oh,
I'd love to have a chance to fight with him.
And what was hilarious was Jay Lee in the background. When they made Glenn take off the tunic he was wearing and the belt, and they put Sindara's tunic and belt on, Jay Lee took Glenn's old stuff and put it over his own shit. Everyone's just standing in the background like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But all in all, it wasn't too bad. Jugging apparently was really good. I didn't get to watch it.
No.
Because I was on gate. From what I heard, battle games were really good. People had a lot of fun. The night ditching was fun.
I will say this much from what I've heard too, as well, to the people that were reaving at Banner. Definitely a special shout out to them, because it was only like two or three that got stuck reaving everything, and one of which was doing it with a baby on her hip the entire damn time.
Yes.
And that would be Harley. You know, definitely a shout out to them for doing that. I found out too, a lot of shit that, and Harley's done a lot of service, you know, and you know how many roses Harley has?
3. Ah, I called it.
She has, no, don't count those. Count that one.
0.
She has none.
Really?
Yeah, I believe Kill Mill. She has 0, or it's just 1. And she's done a lot of fucking shit. So I've made sure. I've got it written up. I have to submit it to Armand, but I will definitely be submitting the baby got more offers for belts, tunics, and companies than anyone.
That's hilarious.
Fuck yeah, because your kid is awesome. But yeah, so shout out to them being a Paragon Reeve and being one of the representatives of Paragon Reeves and Amtgard as a whole. It really makes me proud to see, you know, people taking that initiative.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, and stepping up and doing that, and I think it's great, and I think they should definitely be more. Speaking of reaving, for those of you who don't know, the two of us are running for Kingdom GMR against each other.
This is gonna be great.
I can't wait for the show after the event, because one of us is going to be sitting here with this whole hey, and the other one's going to be like,
one of us is going to be wearing a big shit-eating grin,
and the other one's not.
GMR fight, get hyped,
right? It's like the post I wanted to put up, because you put up a cool little flary one. The original post I wanted to put up, but I backed away from it because I was afraid.
Was it the one that you put in when you did your Kingdom Champion post?
No. If any of you guys watch WWE at all,
oh god,
I did an Enzo Amore. I put up, it's like, my name is Jamish McCrotch. I'm a certified G and a Paragon Reeve, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, running for Kingdom GMR. How you doing? And that was gonna be my post. But then I was worried that certain people were gonna bitch about it, because I got a lot of complaints about my Kingdom Champion one, because of Kingdom Champion one when I stole the jousting line.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of complaints about that, but at least Yuri immediately came to my defense, going, well, at least this is the best looking fucking intent out of everybody's, you know. So
that's what people can do. They can fucking stroke it.
Right. Okay, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to do that, but I backed away. I did a normal one saying, hey, I'm Yamish, and I'm running for Kingdom GMR.
I actually put
I put in the comment section, this is what I really wanted to put up as my intent.
I saw. I was laughing.
You know.
I honestly, I kind of made mine up on the fly, but then again, there was my intent.
And then there was you plugging your event.
And then the event.
Yeah.
Because that's where the GMR votes are going to be done.
Yeah.
And also, I had to post on the CK page after I got booted from it for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
For posting a meme.
Well, I mean, but
it was well deserved.
It was worth it.
It was totally worth it.
I definitely think it was. It got removed before I even got a chance to see it.
I have the screenshot.
Yeah. Well, no. Somebody else told me about it. They were like, "Dude, you should have seen it." He went right after what's her name.
Nesta.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh," but But yeah, so that's a thing now. So for the next 3 weeks, we're gonna be waiting.
Yeah.
Because we do our vote at court.
Yes.
To determine who it is.
But honestly, the way that I see it is that whether or not you or I get it, we're going to be helping each other out.
Well, of course.
I mean,
because this will be my, if I win it, this will be my first time ever being a Kingdom GMR.
yeah.
I've been in Kingdoms, the head of the Reeves Guild, the Masterhoods and stuff, to determine if somebody's eligible for Masterhood and now Paragon. But I've never been to Kingdom GMR, which has the final say. But I've always been the one at the Kingdom GMR is going, Yamish, is this person worthy of their Masterhood? And I'm like, okay, let me take a look, and okay, yeah or no. So at least I've been the guy that had that call.
Yes.
This time I'll actually be in the responsibility role of
Correct.
handling reaving, and there's so many. There's so much I've seen with how the reaving has been that I am seriously there. I've already got in my mindset the shit I have to do to fix reaving in this kingdom.
Yes.
Because
and you and I have seen both of the same thing.
Yeah.
And granted, yes, I don't really step on the field all that often because I'm a broke motherfucker, and I'm usually working events anyways. So.
Well, one of the things I definitely want to do, I would like to see try to do, is there's people in this game that can battle game reave gorgeously.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but you put them in a tournament, and they can't reave worth a shit.
Fault.
Okay, but then you have people you can reave them in a tournament, get them in a reave in a tournament, and they're the best fucking tournament reaves ever.
Put them in a
fucking battle game. They're horrible. So I would actually, what I would like to see is us put together some kind of a guild setup where we have people that are shot callers
and battle game
reavers, and then there's going to be those like myself that can do both.
Cross.
Okay, and then try to establish some kind of setup where we know as a kingdom we have these reeves that are really good at shot calling, so we're definitely going to be using them in quals and weapon masters, and we know these people are battle game reeves, so we're definitely going to be using them at the events.
Yeah.
So. And something I would like people to start to find their niche on where exactly they're good at reaving, and expand and explode from there.
What I think that we should also do is that if we were to do the Reeves Guild and everything like that.
Yeah, I know, because we're still tied. We have to fight in a tournament one of these days against each other in the first round so we can break that tie. We're tied 1-1 in a tournament.
So the way that I see it is that if we have all these people who are Reeves and Reeves qualified, but yet they're not doing anything to support reaving.
Well, they're not teaching other people how to reave.
They're not. So
and,
I think
I'm going to steal one from Sir Pharaoh, the KCG. It's going to be kind of a each one teach one kind of thing.
Yes.
Where hey, now that you're Reeve certified, I'm going to task you now go train at least 2 other people to reave.
Pay it forward.
Yep. You go train 2 other people how to reave. Go find 2 non-fighters who can't fight, who always say, well, I can't get out there and field fight, and teach them how to fucking reave.
What we should do.
Or take some of these people that bitch about reaving all the time and shut them the fuck up and say, here's a gold sash, let's go reave.
No. One of the ideas that just popped into my mind is, as GMR, what we can do is we can actually have a friendly competition for the Reeves and for the parts in perspective.
Well, yeah, because there is no competition for Reeves.
So
Reeves are kind of like that used and abused thing.
So if we were to have people who actually sign in as Reeves and they actually reave battle games and they reave tournaments and so on and so forth, especially at a kingdom level events, they can earn points. So that way, at the end of the reign, whichever park has the most amount of points for that, then they get a whole Reeves kit.
Okay, that would be good.
Yeah.
Give them they get a nice Reeve sash.
A nice Reeve sash.
Maybe the positive. Who made Yuri's Reeve tunic? Did Yuri make that?
No, that. You mean the referee one?
Yeah.
She actually got that from Esteban.
Okay, because I would I like that for Reeves. Because that definitely who the fuck they are.
Have you seen Jill's Reeve tunic?
I've seen that bright ass motherfucker that the moment the lights go
and
out,
it says Reeve on the back.
I would like to see some kind of a garb thing for reaving.
That would be awesome.
Because here's the problem I've seen. I saw in a battle game at the Kingdom event I ran. Somebody was out there reaving, and somebody attacked them. because they didn't immediately see the gold sash.
Yeah, because they thought it was a wizard sash.
They thought it was a wizard sash because, remember the old days, wizard sash was the gold sash. The first set of sashes, the wizard sash was gold. Okay, and reaving was yellow, and then they flipped them.
Yep.
So there's still some people that have gone out in the world and disappeared, and come back, and they see somebody with a gold sash out on the field, and they're like, "That motherfucker's a wizard. I'm gonna take him out." They're like, "No, they're a fucking reeve." So I would like to see maybe
like a uniform,
not a requirement, not a requirement, but a suggested.
Yeah,
hey,
uniform.
Let's get together in this kingdom and say, okay, reeves, if you're gonna reeve, let's get let's get some kind of a tunic that you can wear out on the field that definitely, besides the sash, denotes that guy's the reeve.
Or what we can do is we can actually have, like
by the way, Bacon, if you're still listening, good night.
Yes. Or like something that we can do is like if we were to have like a donated set of reeves tunics for the kingdom.
Okay, I can see that.
And then we have it, in a sealed box in storage.
Yeah.
So when we have CK events or even Spring War, then all of our reeves will have the same uniform.
Yeah.
So that way it's like, okay, these people are reeves.
Well, do we have an official reeving household?
We do not.
Okay, then I'm going to start it back up again.
Let's do it.
Because we called it the House of the White Tigers. And the reason why it was the White Tigers, because white tigers are white with black stripes. Okay.
Referee. Got it.
Referee. There you go.
I'm thinking of what you're talking about.
And I think I'm going to bring that back. And so that way, if you're Reeves qualified, you get an invite into the house immediately. And you must maintain your Reeves qualification to stay in the household.
Yes.
And we constantly confab with each other and run scenarios against each other all the time. And that's how we used to do it. We used to sit down. Kill Mill said the last I checked, Yuri down in Murky wore the in Wetlands wore the one Thad has. Okay, so anywho, I think I'm going to go ahead and bring that household back. So that way we can confab, and like I said, the reason why it's the House of the White Tigers is because White Tigers are white with black stripes.
Yes.
And because originally it was the zebra one, and then I found out somebody had a household that somebody else had a household that was a zebra thing. So the White Tiger one just sounded cooler than zebras. Yeah. Even though, believe it or not, they call referees in a lot of sporting events zebras. So it may be it may be the zebra house.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. If you want to start it with me, then me and you can figure that shit out.
I'm totally down.
Okay, so, and then we could do that then. We can put together that task in the household of putting together the uniform deal for the kingdom. Okay, so we can do that. Okay.
So, I say we already beat this with the dead horse.
All right,
let's go ahead and move on.
Okay, so what was the next, we were gonna work on a little bit of mundane world?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, so, all right, so quick.
Oh, the Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, we didn't get to talk about this last time. It was on our agenda, and we ran so long with Las Vegas that...
Yeah, we ran out of time because we had to cut short because somebody wanted to watch the WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a WWE fan. And that pay-per-view sucked. That was a bad pay-per-view. But anyway, so Indigenous Peoples Day, the city of Austin and other cities in the country, mainly the liberal ones, decided to do away with Columbus Day. Okay, and don't get me wrong, Columbus wasn't that great of a guy.
No.
Okay, he did a lot of atrocities. The problem was he never directly affected Native Americans.
Correct.
Okay, and they said that, Indigenous Peoples Day is about Native Americans. Columbus never affected the Native Americans. Okay, he landed in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And fucked them up. Brought diseases, rape, slavery, destroyed things. I mean, it was a horrible thing.
Typical European things.
Okay, so the thing is, to say that, America's going to have... First of all, if America suddenly said, well, we're not going to celebrate Columbus Day anymore because he didn't do anything for us, that would be a legitimate argument. Because Columbus didn't do anything for America.
He didn't.
Okay? So, Indigenous Peoples Day for Columbus Day is like, the Native Americans don't have their own holiday, so they need a holiday. I get that, but why not give them their own day instead of saying, hey, we're going to cover up this shit and give them this? you know, so now we've eliminated one, so now, now we've got another, but we're going to call it Indigenous Peoples Day, because God help us if we say Native American Day.
Well, if that's the case, if they really want to do it, why not take it just for one day and do it for an entire month and just replace the month of February?
That's just fucked up, dude.
I mean, it's the same thing.
You're going to get rid of Black History Month and replace it with Native Americans.
I mean, are African American? Well, is Black History is it indigenous to the U.S.?
I couldn't do that because their asses were brought here by force. Okay? So, I mean, I don't exactly... Okay, Happy Native American Day from
Lake Titicaca.
Right, there you go. I couldn't quite read it.
But you understand...
I understand where you're getting... I understand where you're getting at with it. Well, just make the whole month of October. Or better yet, let's just make the whole month of November since we got Thanksgiving. Which, in Thanksgiving, in all theory, right?
Yeah.
The day that the Pilgrims came with the Indians should actually be celebrated as Happy End of your Ownership of Lands Day, because right after that they started taking their shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But you understand where it's coming from with that, because this whole thing has been blown so absurdly out of proportion.
But I mean, but then the turnaround. What gets me is we're going to call it Indigenous Peoples Day. Okay, here's the problem with that.
Everybody who wants it to be Indigenous Peoples Day aren't even indigenous.
Well, here's the other issue. The Native Americans, they've proven that they did not rise from the earth from there.
No.
They crossed over when we had ice that you could actually walk over and came over here. Okay, so they're not even technically indigenous.
They were the first settlers.
They were the first people to claim this, to have this land, and they didn't have to do it by force to kill people. Okay, so in that point, they're not even indigenous either. But if we call them Native Americans because they're the first people of America before America became America,
yes,
then that would make sense. But we can't, because Native American is not PC. So we're going to call it Indigenous Peoples Day. And Indigenous Peoples Day doesn't even roll right off the tongue.
Columbus Day does.
Columbus Day does. Hey, Columbus Day sale. Come buy your sheets. You know, because that's what Columbus Day was, is bedroom shit was on sale. That was your big bedroom shit and carpets. Okay, well now we have Indigenous people, which is a PC term for Native American. What the fuck is going to be the what is the commercial entity in this world going to turn Indigenous People Day sale into?
I mean, technically, if they really wanted to raise a stink about it, if they called it Indigenous Peoples Day, technically this area was Mexico. So would that mean that Indigenous people would be Mexicans?
Yeah, which is Cinco de Mayo, which is their big holiday. I mean, it's Mexican Independence Day,
so now
but America pretty much recognizes and celebrates Cinco de Mayo. So they already have a day. So then why wouldn't the states that were Mexican territory just eliminate the celebration of that day altogether? Just be gone with it.
It's a day for party. Everybody likes a good party.
You know, I mean, I don't get me wrong. It's like one comedian said, one black comedian said, he goes, right now, he says, I don't give a shit if they decided to give the Grand Wizard of the KKK a holiday. If I get the day off and I get to get drunk, I'm going to be sitting there on my day off going, here's you, fucker, and get fucking wasted.
Hell yeah.
You know, okay, but it's just the whole, as soon as they said this on the radio and I was driving my truck, I had to stop. I was laughing so fucking hard. Not that I have anything against Native American people. I have a lot of friends that are Native American people.
I'm Native American.
So, among other things.
Yes, among other things.
But I have a lot of friends that are Native Americans. Okay, so I have nothing against Native Americans. I actually find it fascinating every time that I meet one to learn about their culture. Okay, I used to deliver on a tribal land when I was a FedEx guy.
Yeah.
I was the only one of the FedEx drivers who knew what the fuck the roads meant because they're all in their language.
Yeah.
Okay, because I took the time to learn.
Yeah.
And I love learning about other people's cultures, and it's great. So, but the thing is, I've met people that are Native American that have heard about this shit, and they're pissed off. They're actually angry about it. They're like, we don't call ourselves indigenous people. We call ourselves Native Americans.
Yes.
You know, we call ourselves Indians. You know, we don't fucking call ourselves indigenous people. So
it's all those PC
it's people trying to be fucking politically correct, and then they make a laughing stock out of something that's supposed to be serious.
And then they make a laughing stock out of the U.S. more so than Trump.
Yeah. And that's sad when you do that, when you overstep Trump making an ass out of yourself. I mean, our 12-year-old president, you know, it doesn't need any help.
Speaking of Trump.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So I don't know if y'all have watched Facebook at all today. I subscribe to every major news agency there is. Okay? So my Facebook feed is either made up of somebody saying, explain me and how we met with a GIF now. That's the big one.
Well, I did jump on the bandwagon on that.
But did you see mine? I used Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, brother.
Thank you, brother.
But anyway, and in the other...
You used Hulk Hogan. It was Macho Man Randy Savage.
No, that was Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at it.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Orange, red letter, yellow, orange lettering, Hulkamania on the...
I could swear that it wasn't.
That was not Randy Macho Man Savage.
I don't remember.
That guy, that was not the guy that said snap into a Slim Jim.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, so evidently today what had happened was, Senator John McCain of the state of Arizona was given a civilian award for bravery and heroism, which, don't get me wrong, being a veteran, John McCain was, you know, he was a hero, and he survived what he survived to be able to come back home. You know, he was a member, he ended up getting captured and put in the infamous Hanoi Hilton.
Yeah.
My dad was on the plane that brought him home, you know, from Vietnam. But he received this award, okay? Now, if I, being a veteran, received an award like this, I would take the time to thank the people. I would take the time to tell you about how proud I was of my service, and I would move on with life. No. He decided he was going to take a dig at our president because they're at odds right now, because John McCain has decided that pretty much everything that comes across that Trump's trying to push, he's voting no to.
So he got political.
So he decided to make a wonderful event, which was to honor him about Trump. And it was something along the lines of not going for forced nationalism or immaturity in power. And then Trump responded back with a tweet, which I knew was going to happen as soon as I saw that. And I sat in my truck and said, my God, what is Trump going to respond with? And Trump responded back with, go ahead and keep trying. No, you shouldn't attack me. You know I'll respond. Our president gives no fucks.
Like if I feel the fucks to see that it is bad.
Okay. One thing I will give our president credit for, he gives no fucks and he speaks his mind. But part of me is kind of like, sometimes you need to shut the fuck up. Okay?
At least he didn't start spouting off right away.
But then later on, he got even further into it, and it just went downhill from there. Because we're also talking about the guy, we're also talking about, this is the same senator that he turned around and said he wasn't a hero because he got caught. Or he got captured. He didn't think he was a hero, and that blew up, and he had to retract on that statement and apologize and everything else. Okay. We all know that John McCain is considered the maverick of the Republicans. Why is he considered the maverick of the Republicans? Because he's a Republican, likes to vote liberal on things.
Yes.
That's why they call him a maverick. Not for a good thing. For me personally, okay, I'm not a liberal. Mm-hmm. However, I'm not a conservative. I'm an independent.
Correct.
I'm socially liberal. I am fiscally conservative. I don't believe we should spend more money than we have, nor do I believe the government should tell me what I can and cannot do in my own house.
Yes.
Okay. If you're going to be a part of a party and you're going to claim that this is your belief, then you need to uphold that belief. Otherwise, what you say is shit.
Yes.
Okay? And he does not. He says he's a Republican and a conservative, and more than half of his votes have sided with the left side of the aisle.
Generally.
So, you guys take that as you may. I don't really want to go into any further detail because it's pretty much a yawn kind of deal, but it did happen. It did blow up everything. Then there was some comments. I haven't researched any more about it. Whether or not I will, that's totally up to me. On him supposedly saying shit, talking about soldiers' funerals, and how he's the only one of the presidents that have been actually contacting each and every one of these families, and that Obama's never done it, and all that. I need to do a little more research before I comment on that, because I don't have 100% of the facts with me.
I have actually done research on that. And the Pentagon is actually...
And I think we've lost every single one of our Amtgard friends now.
Who gives a shit? Anyways, so the biggest thing about that is that Trump is not the only president to have done that.
No, and I know that isn't true, because I know Bush did.
Yeah, Bush did.
I don't know about Obama, because anytime you try to research on whether or not Obama did it, you either get a way left-swinging website, or you get a right.
No, Obama has done it. Obama has sent letters and so on and so forth.
Well, letters are one thing, but personally contacting the family, that's a different experience.
From what I gathered, was personally contacting the family. The ones that he did that for were like the high the high like priority ones and all that stuff.
Go ahead. Keep going. I gotta find out what this is about.
Yeah, no, I got a message. So he has contacted families personally, but it was just like the ones who like received who were going to receive like the Medal of Honor posthumously and stuff like that, or the ones who have done gone above and beyond, and so many people are alive because of them sacrificing themselves. And so on and so forth, all that stuff.
Okay.
But for like random, I really wouldn't say random, but just like your general run of the mill, caught in a crossfire and dropped.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a letter home.
Yeah. Well, and I could say that a personal contact from the President of the United States of America is a much bigger deal than getting a letter in the mail. Because the thing is, getting a letter in the mail. Okay, first of all, there's a person in the White House that signs the president's name to the letters that go to people personally.
Yeah.
It's not even the president that signs them. Okay, people think, oh, look, the president signed. Like, I had a friend of mine that wrote that he's got a signed letter from Ronald Reagan. Okay, and he cherishes it. And don't get me wrong, great thing. But there's a person in the White House that's their job. That the White House spokesofficial our PR official will tell them, hey, look, we need to send a letter to this family, blah, 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 blah. And then they sign the president's name to that because it's not an official document.
Correct.
Therefore, it doesn't require him to actually sign it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's usually that or stamp.
No, they don't do a stamp. There's actually somebody that actually writes the signature because a stamp is obvious. It's a fucking stamp.
Yeah.
But a personal contact, like if Donald Trump called me tomorrow, say I did something that was great for the country or whatever, and Donald Trump himself, President Trump called me tomorrow and said, hey, I think it was a great thing that you did. It's the greatest thing ever. You're a hero. Great. It's horrible Donald Trump impersonation.
He's fired.
Okay? But if he did, that to me would be way more personal than receiving a letter in the mail.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, of course, I would talk about that forever. But still, that would be a great thing. So, when it comes to whether or not presidents have contacted families of fallen soldiers and stuff in war, I just totally dislike the fact that he had to make a point that he was doing it.
It's kind of like like those guys who like to have those one-up stories where like let's say
that's how pretty much everything he talks about is always a one-up anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it gets annoying. It's like I said before we went on the air. It's like, oh, it's like a 12-year-old in grandma's basement on a computer.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty much what it's like.
The fat slimy dude from South Park.
I will say at first in his presidency, I was one of the big advocates saying, no, don't fucking take the Twitter page away. I want to hear what he has to say.
Right.
Now I'm in the group of we need to don't take it away, but put somebody in charge of regulating that shit.
Yes.
You know, filter that shit. You know, because don't get me wrong, I like the guy. I've been a fan of his since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Okay. And when he announced he was running for real this time, I was in my mom and dad's living room watching with my dad, and I fucking sat there. I was like, yeah. Okay. I still think the man has gone through more shit in 1 year, and he hasn't even hit 1 year yet.
No, he hasn't.
Than the last 5 presidents. Than the last 5 presidents of the United States of America. Okay, in fact, he's gone through more natural disasters alone.
Yes.
Than the last 3 presidents combined. Okay.
And honestly, I think he's handled himself very well.
I think he's handled it very well. And for those of you that want to say, well, I don't think he's handling Puerto Rico well, stop listening to the mayor of fucking Puerto Rico. That bitch should have been taken away with a hurricane. Okay? That bitch is the worst. CNN and MSNBC absolutely love her because she has given them more airtime, more one-liners than any other person that hates Donald Trump in America. Period. Okay? We're talking about the bitch going, everybody's suffering and they're dying. It always shows up with brand new clothes on, freshly done makeup, freshly done hair, beautifully done nails, the whole 9 yards. Shirts that have been screen printed, but yet they don't have power. You need power in order to work a screen printer.
Yes.
I mean, well, technically, you could paint this thing on the screen. No, because you still have to print the design out in order for the paint to transfer through. So, yes, you still need electric in order to do it. Because none of this shit is hand-painted. It's all digital art.
Generators.
But people don't have power. You know, see what I'm saying? It's like, don't believe that bitch.
No.
Okay, because the governor that's in charge of Puerto Rico has said he has been more than helping. He has been on the phone with us every day. Everybody's pissed off right now because he said, look, FEMA can't stay there forever. He's not fucking lying. They can't. At some point, your people need to stand up and take charge of the situation. He has no problem shuttling them supplies, but we have to pull FEMA back because we're getting ready to hit probably the area of the year that's the worst for us.
Yes.
Winter is horrible for the United States of America. And FEMA is utilized a lot during the blizzard season.
Yes.
And we have FEMA so stretched out right now that they're talking about having to hire like 50,000 more FEMA people just so we have them for the next thing.
Jesus.
Because all of FEMA is stretched out between Texas, Florida, Louisiana, and Puerto Rico, and now in California. FEMA doesn't have a lot of people left to respond to shit.
They're just like the civilian side of the military.
I will say,
so stretched out.
I will say for this country, one thing that I'm definitely proud of, for the first time with this many natural disasters, the Red Cross has stated we do not keep donating blood. We have more than we can keep.
Yeah.
So we have definitely done our part as a country, you know, for blood donations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's the first time in a disaster we haven't had the Red Cross on TV every single day with some former president or some official saying, hey, donate blood. They've been telling people, dude, we're good.
What about FedEx?
With what?
The way that they've been taking care of their own people who've been affected.
And you know what? I will say this much: I've met the CEO of FedEx. I will tell you that, you know, I was in one of the camps that said I wish that guy would run for president because I know that our country is built as an economic machine.
Yes.
That's how our country was built.
We are capitalists.
Okay. And Fred Smith would probably be a great person because how Fred Smith started off with a van delivering packages in a neighborhood to FedEx.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would probably be one of the best people in the world to be in charge of a country that is an economic machine. Fred has his moments where he ain't the greatest in the world, but he has gone out of his way personally to make sure that his employees and people in the cities that house their big terminals are taken care of. And that is one thing I will greatly say. Michael Dell has done a lot for the city of Houston alongside J.J. Watts.
Yeah.
To help that recovery effort. There is a lot of big names that have got themselves involved to fix things, and it's a lot better this time around. I really think we learned a big lesson from Katrina. I think we learned and unfortunately it came at the cost of over 1,000 lives. But I think we learned such a valuable lesson from Katrina on how not prepared we are. That I think this time around, when we got hit the way we got hit, and we got hit as many times as we got hit,
we still found a way to come back.
The big names have come together to help with the communities, to help start rebuilding these communities.
Almost immediately.
Yeah, I do not believe we're going to have a situation like Louisiana, like New Orleans, where it took over a decade to get any resemblance of what that city was again.
Yeah.
You know, I think Houston is going to pop back up better. I think that Louisiana, I think Florida, they're all going to be better than they were when it's over, and stuff like that. So I think we learned a valuable lesson from Katrina, and we were caught with our pants down, and unfortunately the powers that be, including the guy who was the governor or the mayor of New Orleans, fucked the whole situation up. I wasn't a huge fan of Obama, but I think Obama could have done way more than he did, and took too long. Or not Obama, but Bush. Sorry, not Obama, Bush. I think Bush dropped the ball on that, and then I think Obama dropped the ball on the follow through.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think we all learned such a lesson from Katrina that I don't think we're going to see a Katrina style event happen again, where these people are left in the streets to fucking die for weeks on end.
So let's rephrase that, because we're pretty much going to see another Katrina level event happening.
Well, no,
but the aftermath.
Okay, yeah, all right,
yeah, we won't see the aftermath of a Katrina level event happen again.
No, we will not, because it was sickening to turn on the TV every day and see people literally lined up in the streets dying.
Yeah.
And we were doing, and it didn't seem like enough effort was put into it.
No.
And, you know, Houston, like, before, because Harvey stood around for a while, which that was a weird event.
It really was.
We've never experienced anything like that in our country's history.
Stuck around for like, what, almost a week and a half, 2 weeks?
Yeah. So we already had people going in place before Harvey even left. You know, and so we were already on the ball immediately.
Yeah.
Katrina, we waited for Katrina to come in and then leave before we did anything.
Yeah, Harvey was coming in. We were already setting up. Harvey hit, then started going north. By that time, turned around and came back.
Okay. And then came back again, but we were already in the process of working on this.
Yeah.
You know, yes, the mayor of Houston did not help when he told people, oh, there's no need to fucking evacuate.
Bullshit.
Yeah, there was. But I get what they were saying, because when a big one hit down there before, they had people that literally died on the highway trying to get out because everybody panicked.
Yeah.
They could have evacuated in stage going, okay, this zip code today, mandatory evacuation, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Everybody else, stay in place.
I know that.
And go field by field, starting with the most high risk areas first, and work your way out, and it would have been a better deal. But I mean, that's still Monday afternoon armchair quarterbacking.
I know that now, you know, after that first initial one hit a while back, in the Houston area going out, they have what's called hurricane evacuation lanes.
Yeah, I saw them, in fact, when we went to San Antonio.
Yeah.
To go to Six Flags. When me and Rachel went, we took 130 the whole way down to catch 10 across.
Yep.
And as soon as you get in at 10, signs fucking everywhere. In the case of an emergency evacuation, this lane will be open.
Yes.
And it's like, good. you know, because on the East Coast we have snow evacuation routes.
Yes.
Okay, and so here we have hurricane evacuation routes. So, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know? So, like I said, I really think that we've learned our lesson from Katrina. We paid a bad price for what happened, and I think we're getting a lot better. And I think we're gonna get to the point what we've not learned our lesson on, and what we're currently seeing is the disasters that are happening in California with all these fires. We have still not learned our lesson from that shit. Well, people are still dying because people are not reacting properly.
Now, I will say this as a native Californian. Every year, there's always fires.
Oh yeah, I lived in the Sierras on the Nevada side.
Yeah.
Fucking fires every year. You know, I lost a house.
Yeah. And, I mean, yeah, it gets really bad because right now, California is going through a drought. It's been going through a drought for damn near almost 20 years now.
This is the second longest on record.
Yes.
They haven't quite eclipsed the #1 spot yet.
Which was like, I believe, 50-something years?
I thought, wasn't it during the same part of the Dust Bowl area for the Midwest? Wasn't it still all part of that?
Yes.
Yeah, but they still have not learned how to react during an incident.
Well, the thing is,
and that's the kind of thing that you need to react during an incident because you don't know when it's going to happen.
Well,
at least with a hurricane, you have some notice that it's coming.
Yeah.
It may not be much of one,
yeah,
but you can get a notice. These just happen like that.
The only thing is that usually when these wildfires start, they start off in such a remote area, like in the middle of a field, that it's not easily accessible. And by the time it starts, it's already taken about maybe 30, 40 acres.
Yeah,
within the first 10 minutes.
And when I was a teenager, I was a volunteer firefighter, and I went through the wildland fire specialization courses, and I know how fast these things could jump, especially if you have an area that's drought, because now your trees are basically standing bombs.
Yeah. Now, on top of that, in those areas where the wildfires happen, it's usually extremely windy. Because
the Santa Ana winds are a bitch.
Santa Ana winds are a bitch, especially in the Cajon Pass.
Yes.
And the thing is, because the way that the topograph for California is, there's bowls everywhere, so the winds just go in and just sweep through.
Yeah.
And it picks up like gusts. So every time that happens, it pulls up the embers and it starts it in another area like miles away.
Well, and I understand, and I know how that carries. But once again, their response, the fire response is, we still have one of the best responses to wildland fires of any other country in the world. Okay? But the civilian response is still so lacking. And people don't know. There's been multiple reports where people were told, one minute they're told, you need to evacuate now. The next second they're told, no, you're good. Then you're told yes. Then you're told no. I would rather deal with the political damage of being an official and saying, you know what? We know how this shit usually happens. Yes, there is a chance the wind will shift and it'll go away and it won't fuck your house up. I would rather just deal with the political damage and saying, get the fuck out of there until we get this under control. Yeah. We can replace houses. We can't replace people. And deal with it that way. They still... The problem is politics still plays such a role.
It's ridiculous.
That people still are getting killed because they don't want to stick their necks out on the line and evacuate an entire area.
And then lose their job.
And because they didn't need to evacuate them in the long run. I'm sorry, I'd rather play it safe.
Exactly.
And say, get the fuck out.
Better safe than sorry.
You know, and turn around and tell your hotels and motels, go, look, you're getting a reimbursement from the state.
Yeah.
You take a log of everybody and how long they stayed that are evacuees, and our state will reimburse you.
Yes.
Even if we fuck up and it never goes to their homes, we will reimburse you because that can be part of that, you claiming a state of emergency.
Exactly.
That can be part of the funding for the federal government.
And it's better to lose money by playing it safe than to lose lives and have that weigh on.
And worry about, because you know what? I'll lose a campaign. I have no problem losing a campaign if I save, 250,000 lives by moving them out of an area.
Exactly.
Because they've had entire neighborhoods wiped out now.
Yes.
By this shit. You know, like, for those of y'all who like wine, I'm going to tell you right now, be prepared to be paying a price. Because wine prices are going to be going through the roof. Mm-hmm. Because we have a large supply of wine that goes to our liquor stores here that are now affected by this.
Yeah, because a lot of the vineyards are in California.
Yes.
Napa Valley.
You know, it hasn't been until in the recent last 2 decades that you've really started seeing them spawn out, because technology has gotten better to where you can have vineyards in other states now.
Yes.
But California for the longest time was the perfect place to have a vineyard.
It still is.
You know, but now with technology, you see vineyards popping up everywhere. I mean, fuck, when I lived in the state of Nevada, the last 4 years I was there, vineyards just started popping up everywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, so technology's gotten better to where we can have more of them, but still, you know, this has affected so many things, and still though, we still have people dying because people not willing to go out on a limb and say, hey, we need to evacuate these areas.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I would like to see get worked on. What else do we have on the mundane world? Do we have anything else really?
No, I think that's it.
I think we covered pretty much all of our bases tonight.
Yeah.
That we were behind on or current.
Yes.
I don't think we really have anything else to cover. Anybody else in the chat room got anything they want to hear talked about? Now's your time, because we're now at the end of what we had.
Yes.
So it's kind of like now it's open line. Go ahead now, because I know here shortly I got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Because I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
I really don't have anything else.
I think that's it.
So what's going to be our policy if we had anything we wanted to like give away to our fans?
So,
because I got something. I've got a prize.
You got a prize.
I have a prize that we have to find a way to give away.
Okay, so I think what we should do is that once we hit a certain number of subscribers,
Okay.
which is what most channels do, once they hit number of subscribers, then we'll do a raffle.
Would you like to see what the prize would be?
I would love to see what the prize is.
All right, cool. Those of you that stuck around and hung out with us for an hour, almost 2 freaking hours. I got a hold of something, and I want to give it away.
Ooh, ooh. Oh
Okay.
my God.
All right, let me get this closer to the camera so they can see it. I gotta wait for the feed to catch up. All right, so this is a Jim Henson's Labyrinth Jarrett the Goblin King. I'm gonna be giving this away, but we got to find out some reason or how we're gonna be giving this away. Like I said, you know, we got to come up with some way to entice people to.
It has an orb and the mask. It's really awesome.
Yeah. So we got to find some way to be able to give that away.
So I think the best way for us to do is if we go ahead and hit, let's say, 50 subscribers.
50 subscribers.
Because I believe right now we're at 18.
Okay, so we're getting there.
We're getting there. So I think once we go ahead and hit about 50 subscribers, we'll go ahead and have a raffle.
Okay.
We'll go ahead, put the names in a hat, and draw one out, and whoever wins, we'll go ahead and get you information, and then we'll send it out to you. If you're not in the area, we can't hand deliver it to you.
No, but if you are directly in the area, then we could hand deliver it to you.
Yes, we can. So
here's the cool part: if it's not something you seriously want, but you do know somebody that would, you would have a chance at getting that, and you get it more than likely if we hit 50 before Christmas.
Now there is a stipulation to you winning this.
Okay, what is that?
The stipulation is that when you go ahead and receive your prize, you have to go ahead, take a picture of it, take a selfie with it, post it up, and you have to tag an R&R show.
Yeah.
In your post.
There you go. So we can do that. So there we go. Yeah, because like I said, I got a hold of more than one of them.
So I think what we should do is for every 50 subscribers that we get, so 50, 100, 150, 200, so on and so forth, we should do a raffle.
We should.
Yes.
That way we can, a way to give back to people for
tuning in and listening to us bullshit and talk.
Yeah, run our mouths obsessively.
Yes.
Because we're good at that. We run our mouths a lot. So.
And well, we did that for almost 2 hours of the show.
Yeah, we did run this one right into fucking the 2 hour slot. I mean, we in one shot, so we're definitely going to cover that. But nobody's really chiming in with anything they want to talk about, so I think we're good to wrap this up.
All right, so I'm Raj.
And I'm Rich.
And this has been the R&R Show with Raj and Rich.
All right, you guys have yourself a good night, and we'll see you later.